What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with the great man Sauce and a special guest from down under, DanHowCards. How you going?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Anytime. Saucy, you're excited about this one?
I am excited, Dom. I am excited. As you know, big Lakers fan on this side of on this side of the camera, and Dan himself is a big Lakers fan because that's pretty much all he collects. If you don't know his page, it's at Dan How Cards on IG. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. So and just go check out all of the amazing not Kobe Lakers autos he's got. I'm not sure if he has any Kobe's. They might be out of his reach at this point, but let us know, Dan, because that's definitely surely on his list at some point. But welcome to the show, brother. How are we?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Just, as I was saying before, just getting through the first couple of lockdown days for myself, so not much to do. So, yeah, thanks for having me on and get me doing something.
Anytime. We're very happy. We'll get started straight into it. Just how did you get into the hobby?
Yeah, so I kind of got into it accidentally, I guess. So when I was younger and that, supporting like NRL teams and just wrestling as well. I was a big wrestling fan when I was younger. Just loved signed memorabilia and stuff like that. So wanted to add something to my collection regarding Kobe a few years ago, and I bought a autographed card of his. And the big reason why I bought a card was it pretty much guarantees that it's authentic. Like, that was a big thing for me. Them guaranteeing that it's authentic and that sort of stuff. So I bought a Kobe one and didn't even really know that the hobby was. I knew it was big in America and that, but didn't know it was as big as it is over here. And only in the past couple of years, I kind of started collecting a bit harder, adding to that collection. My original goal was to pretty much just collect one auto for each Laker great and that sort of stuff, and just expand it from there. But the past couple of years, I've been collecting pretty hard, so it's getting quite big as people that know my channel have seen. But yeah, pretty much that's just how I got into the hobby, and then started jumping into groups and that, knowing how big it really is. And it's good to have other people help you out and help your PC out, tag you and stuff. And yeah, it's good little community. I love it.
100%. It's so many like-minded individuals in the hobby. It's a great community to be in, and especially the Lakers. You do clearly PC, one of the most popular franchises in the sport. So it's not going to go too far for someone to say, I know someone that knows someone or that has this card that you're looking for that is looking to sell it. So that's the thing as well, because you do PC one of the best teams, potentially with some of the best players in the history of the sport. So it's easy to communicate, get your channels open, create relationships. And, you got a fellow Laker supporter here. As much as you can be, this great man can be very, I don't know, I can't tolerate him sometimes when the Lakers are playing.
Mate, common
I
thing
don't know
with
how much he
Lakers
tolerated
fans.
me 2 seasons ago, mate, when we beat his Heat. I don't know how much he tolerated me 2 seasons ago when we beat the Heat.
I said to lose in 6. So.
I was very modest about it. I didn't expect us to lose the series. I'll be honest with you.
No, definitely not, mate. No, good year.
So outside of the NBA, what else do you like to collect, or is it just specific to Los Angeles?
So yeah, at the moment with my PC, it's just LA. So I've been a massive Lakers supporter since I started following the sport when I was younger. So it's just them. When I originally started getting into the hobby, I didn't really know what I was going to collect. I had that Kobe one to start with, and I just started collecting sort of all-time greats. Like I had a Bill Russell one, had a Rodman Bulls one, just kind of that. But I thought it was just going to be too hard to just not narrow it down to something. So I narrowed it down to Lakers, which is also huge. But inside of collecting Lakers, you can like collect little things. I started collecting Kobe rookies in lockdown last year. Started collecting, like, you can collect Kareem, Magic, like all sorts of little PCs inside the big PC. And like if you get heaps into it, at the end of it, kind of like mine, it just looks crazy, which is good. But as I said before, big wrestling fans, got heaps of like signed 8x10s of wrestlers and that. I haven't told many people this because it might be a deal breaker with friendships and that. But yeah, just that. And I don't know, followed NRL, so I have lots of like Newcastle Knights signed memorabilia and that sort of stuff too. But yeah, pretty much just Lakers at the moment, man. I don't know, it changes all the time, so just depends on my mood, I guess.
So why the Lakers? Is it because when you were younger? How did you fall in love with the sport,
Yeah.
and why the Lakers?
Okay, funny story. No one ever believes this story of how I started following the Lakers. I didn't really know too much about the NBA when I was younger. Like, I think like most of us, we start playing 2K and those games and that, and just pick a team. Like, I think that's most of the time, or just whatever kid at school's talking about specific team, you kind of just, I don't know, he just picks one somehow. Anyway, I had NBA Live '07, and my favourite player in the entire game was Kwame Brown. I thought he was a point guard. I legit didn't know what position he played or anything. I just always played with him. And no one will ever believe that story, but I'm sticking to it, and that's how I got into the Lakers. I ended up looking
Now
them
tell
up. I
me,
had no
you got a
idea.
Kwame? You got a Kwame card? You got a Kwame?
Oh, mate, the funny thing is I'm actually chasing one hard. It's so hard. It's harder than you think to find the Kwame Brown Lakers auto, man. I had one. I was looking at one on US eBay like a couple of months ago, and I ended up going for something ridiculous, like $100 or something. I'm not paying that much for him. Like, so
Yeah.
Brown.
he's on the
It all
list
came
for
about
sure.
when he was going off with when people were talking trash about him on national television. He's come out on his Instagram, sort of
Yeah, man, he's
clapping
fought
back at
back,
him.
hasn't he?
Yeah. It was great. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
That is a great story. Like any other person would turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, I got in. I love the Lakers because of Shaq. I love the Lakers
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of Kobe." And Dan's turned around and gone, "I love the Lakers."
I'm
'cause
the
of Kwame
polar
Brown."
opposite.
Kwame Brown.
I was
That's
devastated
elite.
when I found out he was a centre because I don't know how the game worked, but every time I inbounded the ball, man, I used to just dribble up the court with him. And I realised how many turnovers I got was because he shouldn't have been doing that. But
Well, it's the same with
yeah,
me with the
he
Heat.
was my guy, mate. I'm a Connie Brown guy.
It's the same with me with the Heat. You know, I started watching the Heat and I go, "Oh, Juwan Howard, he's my favorite player ever."
Yeah,
so, you know,
for sure.
No, just kidding. Mine was because of Shaq. I can't
Yeah.
lie on that one. I've said that too many times.
Kobe was a
Honestly,
close second.
oh yeah, bloody oath. Juwan Howard, what a beast. And then we got Eric Dampier, another gun. Sauce remembers those days in high
Absolute
school when I was
guns,
just
mate.
like, Eric Dampier, and Sauce would just shake his head. He's like,
Oh,
what are
mate.
you talking about? You are a lemon dog. Tell us some crazy stories in the hobby that you've experienced.
Yeah, I don't have too many big ones really, but I just went like as I said, I didn't really know there was a big community in Australia. I used to just go onto eBay and buy cards, and I thought I was just doing it on my own sort of thing, and knew it was big in the States. But I bought a card off someone on eBay, and he told me to look at his Instagram, and I'm like, okay, so I copped on the Instagram and I looked at his account. Crazy collection, and you just see like some of the people that like his post, and just as you do, just jump onto there and just like realized how big the hobby kind of was. I didn't even know it really existed like 2 years ago, to be honest. And yeah, you start networking with people, I guess, and as you said before, they help you out. Like Lakers is a pretty easy team to PC, and players in the Lakers pretty easy to PC. So you just start talking to people, and I don't know, like some of my closest mates are from the hobby, believe it or not. Like I talk to them more than my actual mates most of the time, just on Facebook and Instagram and that. So I don't have anything crazy, but
They're still
just
your
think it's
mates.
kind
They're
of
still
cool.
your mates. They're new mates now, mate. You've expanded your friendship group, mate.
That's it,
Don't
mate.
worry
I've
about
gone
that.
from 1 to like 3 over 2 years.
Yeah, well, Sauce and
Nah,
I
mate,
only had each other. So
yeah, that's it. It was just me. It's just me and Domo until we joined the hobby, and then now we've got 1,000 followers, and we all consider them as part of the
Yeah,
double
for
coverage
sure, man.
family. And
100%.
you end up like just speaking about cards, speaking about NBA or whatever it might be, in the DMs with people, and like the conversations can go on and on and on and on, and like it's great. It's great to just be able to have people who are just interested in the same things that you like,
Yeah,
and
for
you
sure,
can
man.
you talk about these things, and it's also good to have something to talk about and get away from some of the the issues that are going on in the world, whether it irks you or doesn't irk you. Doesn't matter. You can just talk about cardboard, you can talk about sport, and like forget about that sort of stuff for that time, that period, and it gives you a bit of an out. So yeah,
there's a
look,
few people
it's
watching
been
this
brilliant.
as well that can attest to that. So, which is good. And just a hello to Lukey and to Ziggy. So Ziggy's jumped in. good to have him in, watching this. And Lukey, he said, like our pre-pods, and he goes off the grid where it's all over the joint, which is true. Like, and that's the thing. The community is something that's awesome. And I think the next step for everyone in Australia, that is the point where we can actually go to the States, or even just meeting the people in our own state, because obviously with lockdowns and whatnot, we actually haven't had that opportunity to have full-on shows. Were you able to get to the hobby hangout, Dan?
No, so I wasn't able to get to the Sydney one. I'm devastated I wasn't. Outside of like this and that, I coach basketball as well, so most of the time weekends and stuff are taken up with that. So that was the reason I missed that. But I'd love to get to one and put some faces to names, I guess, and just chat about it in person, just network with people. Like, that's kind of what I like about it, is just, yeah, as you said, like with your own mates and people that you know, it's kind of hard to just talk about cards like when no one else really
It's hard that you
like
to tell them that you
collect it.
spend
Yeah.
$400 on a piece of
Oh,
cardboard.
that's
isn't
the
it?
hardest part of it as well. Yeah, 100%. So it's good to actually chat to people going through the same pains as you, I guess.
Legit. That is definitely a commonality between people in the hobby compared to someone that might not be interested in cards.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's the thing. That's why it is called a hobby. Some people have made it their full-time job. Some people have done that, whether it's through a podcast or buying and selling and flipping cards or investments. They've made it their full-time job. And honestly, all the best to them as well. But it is a hobby. And, people collect all different things. There's,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? People can collect antique furniture, like little tables and stuff. I have no interest in that, but it's just like, okay, that's what you do. That's fair enough. It's just, I think it's opened everyone's eyes a bit. And a lot of people that felt a bit uncomfortable that used to collect cards, we'll say 5-10 years ago, feel so much more comfortable now, because, you know what it's like. It's that stigma that it's like, oh, it's a nerds thing. But now it's become cool, as people would say. And it's like, oh, you collect this. Oh, have you got this order? Have you got that order? And it's like, oh, I don't yet. Oh, I'd be sick if you got that in your collection, type of thing. And they actually become invested in your collection based on when they see it in person. People's mentality change completely, especially if they're big NBA fans. You might have had this situation. Source might have. I might have. I know I have with some of my mates. They've seen some of my cards and gone, oh, shit, you can actually get that. That's so cool. And it's like they go for Boston and they go for LA, and that's the whole thing. When you see it in person, it is a piece of memorabilia, as you said, Dan. Like, whether it's a jersey or a signed basketball or a signed card, it's memorabilia. It's been touched, signed, whatever, by that legendary player. So
I think that's what, the part of the hobby I like the most is, like, you kind of, I'm not connecting with athletes, I guess, but like, it's part of history, like, to me anyway. Like, if I've got like a signed Magic Johnson card, like, that's hectic to me. Like, that's what I love about it. Like, as close as you can get to the athletes without meeting them, I guess.
Well, that's exactly right. And we know how tough it is to meet
oh, mate,
it's
an absolute nightmare at the moment, that's for sure.
Mate, the closest I've ever been to an NBA player was Matt Barnes. So, and I'll take that.
Legend, mate. Laker player.
I'll take it. I'll take it. He's a good fella, Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
I mean, try
All
to
the smoke podcast, get on it.
All the smoke. I tried to meet Chris Paul out of it, but that didn't go well. That didn't go down well. So, oh well, shit happens. But he gave time of day, and some of these people, they're just normal people. In the end of the day, they just got a status to them because they play an elite sport. So, all right, raw, graded, or both?
Yeah. So for me, probably raw at the moment, just because it's cheaper, I guess. Like, as a person that just collects, raw to me is cheaper. But the more I collect than that, the more I kind of want graded, like upgraded sort of stuff. Like, I've got heaps of Kobe rookies, none of them are graded. I've like got ideas to sell them and buy graded ones, or maybe go down the route of grading. At the moment, it's kind of hard, as you know. Like, the submissions are crazy. Like, you can be waiting up to a year for it. So, like, probably if I was to go graded, I'd be buying slabs off other people, probably not grading myself. But it's one of the reasons is also I'm too scared to grade my own cards. Like, I don't know, I might look at them and think they look all right and send it away, and it comes back like a Kobe rookie comes back, I don't know, a PSA 4 or something, and then it's just like, should have just sold that raw and upgraded. So, yeah, not too sure, man. I bought a Magic Johnson graded card the other day, and I reckon it's hectic. So, I don't know. Graded probably towards the future. Yeah.
It's pretty sick. If you don't mind, are we able to bring it up on the?
I'll go for it. Yeah.
Definitely can. here it is. I'm assuming this is the card.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. It's the only graded card you'll find on on the whole page. Yeah, got that
I love it.
couple of weeks ago off someone I started networking sort of in Raz groups. And that. Like he tried to Raz this off and it didn't end up going. I'm like, just reached out to him like, mate, how much would you do for it? Just sell it to me, and ended up getting it off him. And it's kind of extra special because it's the first year of Flawless as well. So 2012-13 was the first year of Flawless. I reckon this card in the future's got potential to go nuts. You've seen how much Magic Johnson, all those and stuff are going for at the moment. So it's a good one to get now, I guess, and hold for the future. And I never like think about selling my NPC, but in the future I probably will and try and save up for stuff like, as you said before, Kobe autos and stuff that are out of the reach now. The only way you can kind of fund that is through what you've got, I guess.
Yeah, and then
100%.
that's one of the things about the hobby. Like, don't get me wrong. If you are in the hobby and you just got you're just a millionaire and whatever, you can go out there and buy whatever the hell you want. But when you're a collector, like most of us, you don't. At some point, you want to be buying cards that you think have potential, and then in the future, if you're looking to upgrade, whether it might be selling, a certain amount, so 50% is funded from other cards that you've sold, then you bring in another 50% of funds that you've got, or 70-30, or you sell a whole bunch of stuff so you can pay for the whole thing from cards that you had previously bought. I think that's what makes the hobby fun as well, is you can use those cards as an asset to upgrade to bigger and better cards, or another card that you might want or prefer. And look, it's all part of the hobby. So in my opinion, no card is meant to be in a collection to be kept forever. There can always be a point where a card can be sold, or you can sell a card. Some people like enjoying cards for a year or two, and then they go, you know what, I want to upgrade to a better card, or I want to, use this card to fund another purchase, use this card to freaking buy a car. Who knows? It might have gone up and they need a new car. It is what it is, right? But that's what makes it so awesome, is that they give you that flexibility. So yeah, look, it's good to hear that there's people they don't think of it's like, oh, this is in my PC and this is not going anywhere forever and ever and ever. Like if you think about it like that, you must just have a lot of money, right? So for the average collector, that's not the case. So you have to move some of these cards to fund some bigger purchases. And that's like me. I've always said to Doma, if the right Kobe auto comes up, I would sell pretty much everything that I've got to fund it to get that auto, right? And I wouldn't even blink an eye. I would not even blink an eye. All the LeBron rookies I got, the Kobe, rookies that I've got graded, see ya, gone, right? And to buy that one Kobe auto, and I wouldn't even blink an eye. So that's the way I think about it. And I think a lot of people have that. That thought. And it's good. It's a good way to think about it.
There is a few people, just a few people just in the chat. If you do want to ask questions to Dan, definitely put them in there. We will get around to them at some stage. We just get this little comment up from Liam. He said it's a little known secret that Dan's on a mission to own every Magic auto in the country.
Oh, mate, that mission's changed very quickly. The more I spend, that's for sure.
You have some crazy, I say crazy cards because I didn't know some of them existed out there. Whether it's when you're looking at a checklist, you don't really stop and look at this player because I might not be interested in collecting him. So you don't look at the team that player is affiliated with. But some of the guys that you have, this in particular, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I think I might know where this is going.
Karl Malone, Lakers auto. A lot of people that collect these days that are probably our age, some are a bit younger than us, might not even know that Karl Malone played for the Lakers. And if it wasn't for his injury, they potentially could have won the title. They would have won 3 straight. That was in 2000, I'm pretty sure. Was the 99-2000, I'm pretty sure, that season. He got injured, he came back, he was underdone. But the team literally had Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of people didn't even know that Gary Payton, Karl Malone were on that Lakers side. So I don't know. That card there, when I was going through your page, I'm like, that's not Karl Malone. Get out of here. No chance. you got so many guys on here: Jody Meeks and Tyronn Lue and Dennis Rodman, Michael Cooper, Robert Ory. You can go on forever and ever and ever. So it's a fantastic collection. Kareem, you got a Vladi Divac on here, Cornerstones, which is Grand Reserve, which is very nice. Where do you find all these? Is it just all in the groups?
Yeah, so most of them, like, I'm always hunting on eBay. So just all like my collection, like I'll go for the big guys like Magic, Kareem, like Shaq, but I also like making it very well rounded overall Lakers PC. And the most obscure ones are the ones I'm most of the time after, like a Karl Malone or a Dennis Rodman or those sort of players, like a Glenn Rice, any of those sort of guys that are like superstar players. But as you said, many people wouldn't know that they actually played for the Lakers, and I think that's what makes it kind of cool about them. But that Karl Malone one, for example, it just popped up on one of the groups like a few weeks ago, and I've got another one that's a Prism sticker auto, but obviously I'm a more of an on-card sort of guy. I like on-card autos a bit better than stickers, but just whatever your preference is. It's not right or wrong, but that popped up and I need to have that one. So I won a Brandon Ingram auto in a Raz that day. It was a pretty good one. It was an RPA, and I'm like, yeah, see ya. Gonna get the Karl Malone one. So yeah.
That's a ripper. Luke, you wanted to ask, do you collect only NBA? So Dan did mention that before. He does. He's got some wrestling memorabilia in there. Who's your favorite wrestler? That's the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestler is I would say Kurt Angle. I liked Kurt Angle as a heel when I started watching wrestling. He was like, he was he was at the top. I think it was when he won the world championship. I forget what it was. I think he got vacated or something, and he joined the Battle Royal or something and won. And he had a feud with Mark Henry and that. I just frothed him. I thought he was the best. And when I learned that he was like an Olympic gold medalist as well, so outside of that, he was also a very elite athlete before this. I just loved him. I just loved his work. When he went to 10A, I thought he was hectic as well. So, Kurt Angle, but I reckon Undertaker would be very close as well. Yeah.
They were the glory days. That was when wrestling was the bomb. And look,
Yeah,
from all
100%.
reports I heard, with the expansion of all the different varieties, they're getting a lot more back to the better storylines and how it used to be, which was amazing. But for me, it's The Rock, and every time I think of wrestling and think of The Rock, I beat myself because I was looking at his Rocky Malavia rookie card when it was worth absolutely nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing compared to what they're going for now. And I didn't jump on the thinking surely people don't collect wrestling cards, and boy oh boy was I freaking wrong. So that's one lesson I learned, that is never doubt that people want to collect this. Like, just never doubt it. If you think there's that you would collect it, there's other people out there that would collect it. So that's my mentality now, and that's something that I've taken upon and learned a lesson from my past mistake, which was not buying the Rocky Malavia rookie card. If you know what it is, in his blue trunks, he's got the yellow border. So yeah, look, wrestling, it's massive. It's massive. There's a huge collector base out there, especially for cards. I'm not sure if you open any of the new Tops stuff that gets brought out. I'm not sure if you dive into any of that sort of stuff, but it's massive and people love it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I haven't dove into that yet. The wrestling cards for this part of the hobby, but yeah, I probably don't watch it as much as I used to, just because of work and stuff like that. But I always keep up to what's going on. Like, I follow the Facebook pages and that sort of stuff, and yeah, it's huge, man. As you said, like it's got a huge following. I'm pretty sure, like, at one stage or another, most people ended up watching it when they were younger, and that some of them just stick with it. And as you said, like, if there's someone out there like me who collects it, I'm probably not the only one. So yeah, there's a big following and all sorts of stuff in the hobby, which is good. Yeah,
100%. Kurt Angle had one of the most underrated songs ever.
Oh mate,
ever.
It's the
just
best.
That tune was amazing. I know that they put the "You Suck" to it, but it was just amazing. It was so good.
For sure.
All right, let's talk some Lakers. Let's get in here. We've got the two Laker heads in here with the Miami guy. And I'm just going to start it off. You got Westbrook. You got, I don't even know who else you got. Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore. You signed everyone. Carmelo Anthony. Now, I don't know if you know, but Saucy said a few things during the bubble last year, and I just want to point out to both of you, all right, as hard as this might sound, yeah. Sauce, you said like this guy is terrible at shooting threes. Westbrook, this is. He only shoots threes at a 21% clip. Now, I just want to point it out there, boys, that this guy is now playing in your basketball team. So I don't know if you're happy with the 21% clip from 3-point range. You know, at one season he shot 18%. That's how poor it was. So I just want your thoughts on your acquisitions and how you reckon you're going to go.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go.
I'll let you go first, mate. I'll let you go first.
All right. So I'll come out. If anyone that knows me knows how much I dislike Russell Westbrook. So before this even went down, there was rumors and stuff. Most of the time, there's rumors, no matter who it is. Like everyone is linked to the Lakers. If they're like on the trade block or if they're a free agent, everyone's linked to the Lakers. And I said, there's no way this is going to happen because Westbrook is pretty much, in my opinion, he's a lot like LeBron as far as he's very ball dominant. He's not like a catch and shoot sort of dude from outside the perimeter, so he doesn't help space the court, I guess, when you've got those three guys on the court. I just thought that wasn't going to happen. And when it happened, as I was saying before we went on live, I'm trying to convince myself it might work. I've heard lots of different opinions from other people, and I think there's a chance, but I don't really know. I don't know how to fit it. Like, he's a Laker now. I'm gonna have to sort of like him, but just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. I think the other free agent acquisitions we made with Wayne Ellington, Melo, Bazemore, they're gonna kind of help out. Like, they're gonna have some sort of spacing, but obviously when it comes down to the big moments in the game, you're gonna have Westbrook, LeBron, and AD all on the court. So just gonna have to be wait and see, I guess. I don't think anyone really knows how it's going to go, but as Lakers fans, we're going to try and convince each other that it's going to work.
Yeah, look, I'm of that opinion, and I've had some harsh words to say about Russell Westbrook on this show in the past, and I might just have to refrain some of those harsh words in the future going forward until I see how it all sort of pans out. But look, there's one good thing, and this is one thing that I'm happy about getting Russell Westbrook, is the guy just stays fit. Like, he barely gets injured. And in terms of, if you talk about Mamba mentality, he's got it, right? Like, he works harder than anyone. You know, when he walked into that Washington franchise, even though he didn't want to be there, he didn't pull a James Harden and sook it up. He didn't, I don't want to be here, and, go out to strip clubs and turn up overweight. He was in there earlier than everyone, showed the young guys how it needs to be done if you want to be an elite player in this league, right? And only having that sort of mentality around the guys there, I think it's only going to help. So, and the fact that he doesn't get injured that often, and you've got, look, LeBron last year was a bit, unfortunate. But AD, he's pretty much a glass tower. You never know what you're going to get with him. He could, do something at any point. So having a guy there who's consistently fit, it's going to help us. But as you said, it's going to be interesting in those big moments, late in games, how it goes down. I feel this is my opinion. If LeBron James is able to get Westbrook and this team to the finals and win a championship, this will be LeBron's greatest ever championship, because Westbrook in the playoffs becomes a shell of himself. And a 3-point shooter, he shoots around 30% during the regular season. It goes down to something ridiculous. Like, it goes down to like 20%. He just can't shoot at all. So we'll see how it pans out. But look, I'll tell you what, in my opinion, we should definitely be making the conference finals. Minimum with that team. Like, there's so much talent there. It would be disappointing if we don't get to the conference finals.
Yeah, I think just the fact that we have those players on our team means that has to be the case. It's just obviously it's going to take some time. Like, the start of the season, I reckon, is going to be very slow. We're going to lose some games. It's just going to be, see how they gel together and if they can work it out. And as you said, if Westbrook gets a championship with the Lakers, it'd just be a huge thing for his career. It would go from borderline the Hall of Famer to arguably one of the top point guards of all time. I reckon with just the stuff he's done stat wise and regular season, the only thing that's really stopping that conversation from happening is this postseason. So it'd be huge, that's for sure.
It's going to be interesting. The age, I think, it's just how their bodies hold up. That's the only my concern, honestly. To be honest, I'll tease you both throughout the season, but I'll be honest with you. Mid ranges win you titles and defense. In the end of the day, you know, threes yet, but I go look at the finals that just passed, and there wasn't really many threes. The defense changes completely, and I know there's going to be rule changes going into next season in terms of like how fouls are officiated.
Trae Young rule change, I call it.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot still to play out. I just don't know. I just think LeBron, I don't want to make it all about LeBron, but I know everyone's going to bag him and say it's just another super team and all this stuff. And that's fine. They can say that. It's just for the fact of all this talent really wasn't there back in, well, it was in Jordan's day. They couldn't beat him. They weren't as good, in my opinion. But besides the point, I go look at that Boston Celtics team in the 80s, and you're telling me that team's not stacked.
Yeah.
And Lakers, how's that not a super team? With
you look at the Lakers with Kareem and Worthy and Magic,
like
Bob McAdoo and all these players off the bench. Yeah.
People just make up stories just to piss off LeBron. Like that, literally, that's what they do. But the thing is about that Westbrook theory, like you said, Source, if you can win him a title, it's pretty impressive. But I go look at the other side of the spectrum too, outside of Miami, because I know he joined Wade, and Wade had already won a title and stuff like that. And Bosh didn't have one, so I'm not going to count Bosh in there. But I go look at Cleveland, and I look at the Lakers, and I look at Kyrie Irving, I look at Anthony Davis, and I'll look at Westbrook for this season, as well. But the one thing that those three players all have in common, pre-LeBron and post-LeBron. So pre-LeBron, Kyrie Irving was shithouse. Couldn't even make it to the playoffs. His team was terrible. LeBron comes there, they win a title. Post-LeBron, he's done nothing in the finals. He's been shit. Like, he went to Boston, he got booted out, mate. Like, his team was stacked. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. People forget about all this stuff with Kyrie Irving. Then I go look at Anthony Davis. Done absolutely nothing pre-LeBron in the playoffs. Would get there, capitulate. Always injured. Teams up with LeBron. He's injured. LeBron says, suck it up, buddy. You'll be all right. They win a title. So the trend could continue for Westbrook. I kind of hope so, because as much as we do give him shit, he is probably one of the most exciting players to watch. He's there every night. You know, he does a lot for the fans. A lot of people don't see that. Yeah, they just go, he puts up bricks. Well, he does some nights, but most times he's out there playing 110%. Doesn't take nights off. Wants to be there all the time. I respect him for that. I really do. So massive respect to him. But hopefully we'll see what happens. Anyway, you'll play the Heat in the finals and you'll lose anyway this time around. We've got Kyle Lowry. So we'll see what happens, boys. Back onto cards, Dan. Before we do finish up, if there's any questions, please shoot them through now. But what's your favorite card in your PC?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the Kobe auto. That first card I ever bought, and I'm killing myself. At the time when I spent $300 on the Kobe Bryant auto, I was thinking, what the heck am I doing spending $300 on a card? Right now, I wish I could go back 5 years and buy another 20.
Is this the one here? Innovation?
Yeah, man, that's the one. It's actually a sick card, eh? So
that's nice.
That's the only jealous, Kobe auto I've got. Yeah.
Jealous.
I wish I had a few more, but as I was saying, there's probably going to be a point in time where I'm going to flip his rookies or flip other autos, all those Magic ones I have, and try and buy a couple more of Kobe ones, but just going to wait it out. I think I really don't see his autos going too much more crazy. Like, if anything, I think they might slowly drop off a little bit. So I'm going to wait and see. If they do, fantastic. I'll flip some stuff, get another one. If they don't, then my bad. I'll just stick with what I got.
Exactly. And you got a really nice collection. as well. So
It's unfortunate this the situation.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, his soul, Kobe Bryant. But it was just bananas, and I think a lot of people would have had that were maybe got into the hobby or whatever, they would have the same train of thought, because at the time when around about 2019, around there was announcements he just signed a 10-year deal with Panini, signing for the next 10 years. You're like, oh, this is brilliant. Going to be able to collect so many Kobe Bryant autos. You could buy sticker autos for $100, $150. You could buy some on-card stuff for $300, $400, $500. Good stuff, right? Numbered flawless stuff for, as low as $600, $750, maybe $1,000, maybe. Those numbered flawless stuff are now like, 6,000-7,000. The sticker autos are 1,500. It's like very rare you find a Kobe auto for under $1,000 now. Like very rare. Whereas, previously they were everywhere. And he was one of their main signings. And it's just unfortunate, obviously, what happened with his passing and that whole situation, that, seeing that the demand for Kobe Bryant afterwards. So, look, as I said, this is where it comes in handy, that if you've got other cards in your collection and you have the opportunity to buy a one of those cards, like a Kobe Bryant card, sell your other cards, get one, and lock it away, because there won't be any more getting signed. That's a given. So that's definitely a collector's piece, and one that you hold on to, especially as a Lakers fan. You just and for me, Kobe Bryant's the reason why I pretty much started playing basketball. I used to play 1999 NBA on PlayStation 1, right? PlayStation 1, I remember. And I used to just play as the Lakers, and me and my mate, we used to play, and there used to be an option where you could play as one player, and I'd play as Kobe, he'd play as Shaq, and we'd just like dominate everyone, like just playing against the computer and just dominating. And that's where it all started for me. So, and then from there, like I just started supporting the Lakers. And then it just grew from there, and just been a Lakers fanboy since 2000, pretty much. So yeah, look, awesome piece, man. Props on that one, bro.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, it's good. I'm very, very thankful that I got, due to all the circumstances that happened, that I was able to get one. So there's lots of people that I know that would kill for it. So yeah, very lucky and stoked that I got it. It's my first one. Yeah.
I like it. Very nice. Last one, underrated card or set in the hobby. It could be a Kobe card. It could be anything. Yeah.
I had to think about this one. I don't know. Underrated set. Underrated to me. I really like Impeccable. I think that's a crazy set. I loved Court Kings. Court Kings is a sick set too, but I look at Impeccable as a higher end sort of version of Court Kings, and I've got heaps of Impeccable of those. It's probably my favourite set. So I'll go that. Lots of people disagree. Some people think it's overpriced and that, but it's just personal preference. I really like that one, so I would go with that.
Definitely. This year's Impeccables.
I agree. I agree. I reckon this year's Impeccable is one of the best products thus far.
Yeah, man.
To hit the market. People. I look at like. Look, just for example, right? Like I'm picking up a few Patrick Williams cards, and I've gone the route of like I'm looking at his numbered Prism stuff, and then an on-card auto numbered from Impeccable, and I'm going, why the hell are people paying more for this numbered variant out of Prism than an Impeccable card that looks so awesome and has an on-card auto on it? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And for that reason, I was like, I was so drawn to those brushstroke sort of patterns that they've got on this year's Impeccable. And then, looking back at some other Impeccable sets, that it is such a beautiful set. But I think this year's one is like one of the best ones that they've done out of all that they've put out over the years. So I'm all on board Impeccable train, mate. Don't worry about
that. Yeah, the sort of paint strokes in the background of these ones, they look hectic, and the team colours as well. I snagged the Gail Goodrich one for like $20 the other day, and I'm over the moon like a kid on Christmas, mate.
I've got to put it up. I'll put it up. It's on here. Let's put it up.
Yeah, I think it's the most recent one I put up. Yeah.
Bang.
Oh, they just look sick.
Yeah,
and how's that auto?
Design is hectic.
How's that auto though? you want that, or you want a Cam Reddish line auto?
100%, mate. I reckon the old school guys, their autos are absolutely crap on the new guys. But I was having a joke to someone the other day about it. Someone commented on one of the posts I put up in the Cherry group saying how much better Kareem's auto is like compared to like other people now. And I'm like, people these days don't even need to write, mate. They're all typing on their social media and that. So it's probably just their error. But yeah, I love it.
Honestly, impeccable. Product of the year so far for basketball. Product of the year, hands down. Like anyone can refute that, that's fine. But hands down, it is being the product of the year. I don't know if there's a Panini 1-on-1 scheduled to be released. I know that was Saucy's 2020 product of the year for him, for Panini, and it was a lovely product. I'm not going to lie on that, but definitely so far this year, 2021, we are just over halfway through the year, and impeccable. Hands down, the best product for the NBA.
Those Troy Ounce silver cards and stuff that you can get out of them too are hectic. So I haven't actually got one of them yet, but would love to add one of them eventually.
Cards
I'll tell you what I'm looking at right here, right now. It's a 2021 impeccable basketball Magic Johnson auto, of one. It's up on eBay at the moment. It's
Dan's
up on
got
eBay
it.
at the moment. $800. No one's had a bid on it. Oh boy. This is
Dan's got it. Don't worry, mate. He's going to snipe
This is
that.
dangerous.
You got no chance.
One of one.
Very dangerous, mate. That 800 is going to go up to 801 after this podcast.
I can't believe no one's bid on it. There's 20 hours left,
Is
mate.
it Australian or US?
Nah, it's US. It's US. So
Yeah.
that's it's a bit, but I mean it's a one of one. So
100%,
and it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Go have a look at it, mate. Definitely go have a look at it. I'll add it to the watch list. I'm not in the market for that at the moment, so I'm not going to be. No,
I don't think I am either, to be honest.
Not after the big other Magic pickup you've picked up the BGS.
I'm recovering, mate. I'm recovering for the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
I love it. I love it, boys. I love it. What a product. What an absolute product. All right, gents. Thank you very much, Dan, for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Giving up your time, chatting hoops, Lakers. Sauce and I wish you all the best. And Sauce definitely is riding a lot on this season because he does a podcast with me. So it's unfortunate if you don't do well. So, so thank you very much. We appreciate your time. So
cheers, brother. Thanks for having me on, boys. Really appreciate you reaching out. So thanks heaps for that. Catch you later.
Anytime. It's another great Australian collector, and we're going to try and get more and more on, as well as our friends over in the States and over anywhere around the world. So thank you again. It's been myself with the great man Sauce and Dan, which is at DanHowCards. We'll put all his info in the bio. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Peace.
Peace out. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.